Oh man. Whoa. I just realized I was muted. So let's do this one more time, y'all. This is your boy, Tone DeShields the second. You guys are locked in on your dose of chalk it up. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. My bad, y'all. I had the mic muted. That is so embarrassing. Sheesh. But like I said, the Eagles face off against the Kansas City Chiefs at 1 p.m. in Lincoln Financial Field. Now, here's the story. Here's the tale of the tape. Both teams are 1-2. Both teams have been playing like 1-2 teams. Now, when you look at the Chiefs, you think about it as this. They've had some pretty tough matchups. They've had some high quality losses. They haven't been getting blown out, but they've just been losing. They've been turning the ball over, and they haven't looked as cohesive as offense and defense. Patrick Mahomes has been turning the ball over. Their defense hasn't been able to stop the run. So this is a very, very interesting game, all things considered. The Philadelphia Eagles have had such a turbulent first 3 or 4 weeks of the season. We have injuries left and right. We started the season off on a good mark with the win against Atlanta, but since then we have regressed every single game in San Francisco, in Dallas, playing San Francisco, in Dallas playing the Cowboys. That Dallas game was so embarrassing. It was so hard to even think about or even watch the game tape back. But nonetheless, it happened. We're 1-2. The Chiefs are 1-2 as well. And again, both these teams have a lot to prove today. That's the big thing about this game. Both these teams have a lot to prove. And both these teams, neither of them can afford to go 1-3. I think the Chiefs more so because they have an identity, right? They have a pedigree in this league. And when you lose to Baltimore, when you lose to the Chargers, it's not a good look. Now they beat the Browns, but their defense has been giving up a lot of points as of late. Their defense hasn't been able to stop the run that well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this game plays out. But this begs the question: do the Philadelphia Eagles even have a chance to win this game? Let's talk about it, you guys. Let's talk about it. Do the Chiefs or do the Eagles have a chance to win this game? I want to hear your thoughts about this because it's unfortunate that we're where we're at right now. We're 1-2, and the schedule is only going to get harder. I thought it was imperative. That we try to go 2-1 in the month of September. It was imperative. I felt like we could have went 3-0, but at minimum we needed to go 2-1. But we've gone 1-2, and right now we're ranked third in the division, and the Cowboys are 2-1. So everyone's still within arm's reach. Everyone's still within punching distance. We still have a chance to turn the season around or be more competitive. But we have to take this on a game-by-game basis, a week-by-week basis. And so far, the schedule is looking treacherous. Teams are getting better. The Panthers look good. The Buccaneers look good. The Raiders look good. The Detroit Lions are 0-3, so that might be a win, but they're a tough team. The Chargers look good as well. Denver looks good. This is really we have a tall task ahead of us. That's the bottom line. But who is under the most pressure when it comes to the starting quarterback and the head coach? Is Jalen Hurts under more pressure, or is Nick Sirianni under more pressure? Me, I believe that Nick Sirianni is under the most pressure because he's the head coach. And as the head coach, it's your job to put your players, put your team in the best position to win. And based off the past 2 weeks, Nick Sirianni has not been doing that. I think we all can agree on that. I think we all can agree that Nick Sirianni has not put his players in the best possible position to succeed. You think about the game against the Dallas Cowboys. We ran the ball a total of 3 times with the running backs. Not even including the runs by Jalen Hurts, because those were all planned passes. But we ran the ball a total of 3 times with the running backs, 2 times with Miles Sanders, 1 time with Kenny Gainwell. That can't happen. That can't happen. You have to help your struggling quarterback. You have to help your young quarterback. There are two things. There are two things that are a young quarterback's best friend. That's a strong running game and getting the ball to his tight ends. His tight ends and his running backs are his best friends being a young quarterback. And you can't tell me anything different. I think that's universally known. A young quarterback's best friend is his tight ends and his running backs. And if you don't have a running game with a young quarterback and you're forcing him to throw that ball 35 plus times a game, you're putting him in a compromising position. When you're forcing him to throw that ball that many times, especially when his style of play is more so being a dual threat quarterback, more so taking advantage of the run game, you have to get the run game involved with the running backs, because after a certain point, teams are going to catch on and teams are going to start looking at Jalen Hurts as if he's the only runner. If you're not running the ball with your running backs, and if you're not running the ball, period, teams are going to start to key in on you. Teams are going to understand. Teams are going to really be able to predict exactly what you're doing. You're going to become one-dimensional. So when you think about it like that, we have a lot of pressure on our hands. That's just how I see it. Nick Sirianni has the most pressure to call a beautiful game. Now he's going up against Andy Reid. This is not going to be a sweet matchup for him. Andy Reid is a virtuoso when it comes to play development, play call, and so on and so forth. That team, at the end of the day, that team is still the Kansas City Chiefs. They're still a Super Bowl champion. Yet they're 1-2, and their defense hasn't been able to really do much. But once again, I believe Nick Sirianni is under the most pressure when it comes to this game. Jalen Hurts, yes. Jalen Hurts has not played up to par since week 1. That's a fact. But I believe the problem goes further beyond him. I believe the problem goes further beyond what happened on the field. It's what's going on within the headset, what's going on the play call sheet. I don't know what Nick Sirianni's been thinking or what he's been trying to do. But I was watching his press conference, and he said something very interesting. He said that he figured, and I'm paraphrasing, of course. He said that he believed that the best course of action to beat the Cowboys was to go toe-to-toe with them. He knew they had a high-powered offense, and he thought the best course of action was to score fast, score early, and try to keep up with them. The key words are keep up. Nick Sirianni, this is not a situation where you need to keep up with someone. What you have to do is you have to dictate the pace. And this comes with being a veteran head coach. This comes with getting your lumps and bruises. It comes with it. You have to learn how to read games. You need to learn, you learn how to play to your strengths. And I thought that was Nick Sirianni's specialty, putting his guys in the best position for them to succeed. But when you only give the ball to Miles Sanders 2 times in the running game, there's no way that's your philosophy. There's no way that's the truth. So far, you're blowing smoke. You're blowing hot air. But Nick Sirianni, you made a very vast mistake trying to keep up with the Dallas Cowboys. That's not how you win, especially with the way your team is currently constructed. Your team is built to run the ball and take advantage of play action. That's how your team is built. You think about Jalen Hurts' skill set. You think about Miles Sanders. You think about the type of receivers we have. Your team has a lot of speed on the outside, has some talented tight ends on the inside with great hands who know how to get open. And you have a stout offensive line and a very stout running back. Your strength is running the ball, because once you run the ball, you suck the defense in. And then at that point, they're trying to predict the run. And you have so much speed on the outside, you might be able to catch them slipping over the top. So if you're not getting the running game started, they're going to constantly cushion our wide receivers. They're going to constantly cushion the tight ends. And no one's going to be able to get open because we're not running the ball enough. And you think about the running back room right now: Miles Sanders, Kenny Gainwell, Boston Scott, who hasn't gotten any reps at all this season. And then we got Jordan Howard on the practice squad. Shout out to Jamal Williams for bringing up Jordan Howard, because Jordan Howard, in my opinion, should be getting snaps. I feel like he can change the dynamic of his running game if you give him the reps. He will give us that short yardage power back. He always falls forward. So it's no way why we shouldn't be trying to give that man the ball. That's just my humble opinion. But nonetheless, I believe Nick Sirianni is under more pressure than Jalen Hurts. Yes, Jalen Hurts has to throw the ball. Yes, he is under some kind of pressure because this is his first year being a full-time starter, but he's basically a rookie. He's only started like 6 or 7 games in his career. He's basically still a rookie. So we had to give him grace in that regard. You can't turn the ball over like you did last week. He had a bad week to turn the ball over. It was his first time turning the ball over all season. So I will give him a break. Only 2 interceptions on the season. I'll cut him some slack. But Nick Sirianni is under the most pressure to call a great game. He's under the most pressure to get the running game involved. He's under the most pressure to figure out how to get his quarterback in the good positions so he can succeed. And he's under the most pressure to get those wide receivers in great positions as well. You don't want to forget Jonathan Gannon on the other side as well, because Jonathan Gannon did not call a good game at all. And the Kansas City Chiefs are still the Kansas City Chiefs. They still got Tyreek Hill. They still got Patrick Mahomes. They still got Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy as their play callers. So we have to be mindful because they still got Travis Kelce. We can't forget. They're very talented. So, yes, they're 1-2, but they can pop. They can boom at any point, and they're due to win. Those guys are coming in hungry. Those guys are coming in looking for a win. Those guys need to win. Those guys can't afford to fall to 1-3. You think about the storyline. If Patrick Mahomes falls to 1-3, that'd be more surprising than if Jalen Hurts falls 1-3. It's more likely for Jalen Hurts to fall to 1-3 than Patrick Mahomes. So I think Patrick Mahomes is under more pressure to win this game, which is why the Kansas City Chiefs are going to come out hot. They're going to come out trying to prove something. They're going to come in trying to put the nail in the coffin early because they know they cannot afford to go down 1-3. You think about their division. They got the Denver Broncos in there who are 3-0. They also have who else is in the AFC West? They got the Chargers who are 2-1. They got the Raiders who are 3-0. The Kansas City Chiefs are officially in the 4th spot in their division. So they can't afford. They're already behind the 8 ball with 2 teams in their division being 3-0. They can't afford it. Now at this point, they're banking on the Raiders or the Broncos to fall off at some point. Maybe they will. But the Kansas City Chiefs need this win. They probably need this win more than we do because of the face, because of the ego, because of what they've built over the past few years. They have established a culture. They've established an identity of being a juggernaut in this NFL, and they can't afford to lose that respect. So I think they're going to try to find their heart this week and try to put a smackdown on the Eagles. So I think Patrick Mahomes is under the most pressure. Trust and believe. Jalen Hurts doesn't want to fall 1-3. He doesn't want that. I don't want that. The team doesn't want that, because if he falls to 1-3, that just gives this team, this organization, this front office more reason to look at him as if he's not the guy. Now, I believe Jalen Hurts is still trying to prove if he's the guy. I believe in Jalen Hurts still. I'm not off the Jalen Hurts wagon yet. I believe in him. It's still early in the season. And on top of that, he's not being put in the best positions to succeed, most notably in the past 2 games. I'm trying to figure out what happened from week 1 up until now. It seemed like Nick Sirianni is trying too hard to play outside of what his team does well. The first week, he did that. Week 2, week 3, he was trying too hard to play into what the San Francisco 49ers weren't doing well at the time and trying to make his team take advantage of that. But my thing is, do you at the end of the day? Yes, you got a game plan. Yes, I understand you have to be mindful of what they are going to do, what they're not going to do, what you think they will do, so on and so forth. But you have to play your game, your brand of football. You have to force that team to come and play your brand of football. They're coming to Lincoln Financial Field. You got to make them play bully ball, make them play Philly football, grind it out, run the ball, sustain drives. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into more of those things once we get into keys of the game. But I want to talk to you guys about the injury report as well, because once again, the Philadelphia Eagles O-line is suffering. And right now, out of all our starting offensive linemen, we're going to be missing Jordan Mailata. We're going to be missing Isaac Samalu, Brandon Brooks, and now Lane Johnson. Our only starting offensive lineman is Jason Kelce, the Iron Man, the guy who never, ever seems to get hurt, the guy who's always stood the test of time. So it's frustrating. I'll put it that way. it's extremely frustrating, all things considered, because I thought this team came in pretty healthy. I thought we did everything we could to keep this team in the mix, and it's very, very sad to see this offensive line still dealing with the type of injuries they're dealing with. And these guys, most of the guys who are hurt, they're north of 30. Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks, they're 30 plus years old. You know what I'm saying? Isaac Samalu, I believe he is. Let me just get his age right. I don't want to age him. Isaac Samalu is 27 years old, still relatively young, only 27. So when you think about Mailata and Isaac Samalu, that left side has some youth on their side, but they got to get healthy as well. Samalu's out for the season. Brandon Brooks out for the foreseeable future. We don't know when he's going to come back. Lane Johnson, who knows when he'll come back, how bad his injury is. But we have a lot of injuries on the offensive line, and we have to really be mindful of the fact that Jalen, this isn't going to make Jalen Hurts' job any easier. And there's a chance he may be running for his life today. We have to keep it real with ourselves. But the Kansas City Chiefs are dealing with their own injuries. They've suffered a lot of injuries on defense. They're missing Javarius Ward, their corner. They're missing Frank Clark, their defensive end. They're missing Rashad Fenton, another corner. They're missing Willie Gay, a linebacker. They're also missing Malik Herring, a DN. So, and they're also missing Kyle Long, their guard. So when you think about all those things, they have some injuries in some key positions on the field. They're injured in the DBs and they're injured on the D line. Now that bodes well for the Philadelphia Eagles. That bodes well for us because our offensive line needs a break. So our starters on the offensive line are going to be Andre Dillard at left tackle, Landon Dickerson at left guard, Jason Kelce at center. I believe Herbig at right guard and Driscoll at right tackle. That's what I believe right now, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this offensive line can deal with the pressure. It's going to be interesting to see. Wow, okay, so it's still being determined. Well, nonetheless, the Eagles' offensive line is going to be in for a task. That's the bottom line. All these guys on the offensive line got something to prove. Andre Dillard had the best game last week. Landon Dickerson looked like a rookie last week. So we're going to see what happens at the end of the day. I'm nervous. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because the offensive line is supposed to be our calling card. But we haven't been able to really take advantage of that. So, like I said, most likely the offensive line is going to be left tackle Andre Dillard, left guard Landon Dickerson, Jason Kelce at center, Nate Herbig at right guard, Jack Driscoll right tackle. Now, here's the one thing for us to be happy about. We know Jack Driscoll and Nate Herbig got quality reps last season. I'm actually a Jack Driscoll and Nate Herbig fan. I think we drafted the quality guys in Nate Herbig and Jack Driscoll. Those guys are sturdy. Every now and again they may give something up, but I feel that Jeff Stoutler has prepared those guys. Those guys are cross-trainable. Those guys were put in the gauntlet. This isn't a situation they haven't been in before. So I actually have pretty good faith in the right side. Landon Dickerson, he looked like a rookie last week, so we're going to see how good he does this week. And Andre Dillard, they're suffering injuries on the defensive end, so Andre Dillard should have a fair game. He should be okay. Also, Rodney McLeod is activated for today. He will get the start. Kevon Wallace is out for several weeks with a separated shoulder as well. So that's exciting. That's exciting to find out that our guy Rodney McLeod will play. But nonetheless, this Eagles team, once again, is going to have to play disciplined football. That's one of the keys. We have to be disciplined. Once again, so far, we're leading the league in penalties through the first 3 weeks. We're on pace to break NFL record, an all-time record in penalties for the season. It's no way we should be doing that. And now that the offensive line is dealing with these kind of injuries, there's going to be, like I always say, a lack of continuity will lead to more mistakes. We can't afford to have that go down. We just can't. We can't afford to keep shooting ourselves in the foot. We did it time and time again against Dallas Cowboys. We did it against the San Francisco 49ers. We did it against the Atlanta Falcons, excuse me. So we can't allow ourselves to continue to play stupid games. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. It's just that simple. So we can't play mistake-full football against the Kansas City Chiefs. Yes, they're 1-2. I get that. But them being 1-2 means nothing when you think about the talent they have. They can, at any point, get it together. They can pop. And when you think about all their losses, they've lost against quality opponents. They lost against the Ravens. They lost against the Chargers. You know what I'm saying? And they beat the Browns. So they've had a tough schedule. They need this game. They need this tune-up game. This is the perfect game for them to fix their record. And this is a trap. This is a trap game for us. Really, this is the perfect game for those guys to come in and find their identity. They need this game, maybe more than us. But my first official key, outside of discipline, which is obvious, outside of lack of penalties, which is obvious, my first key to victory is Miles Sanders must be featured in the game plan. We must run the ball. If we don't run the ball, that's going to turn Jalen Hurts into a pure thrower of football, which he's not yet at least. He still requires development. He still requires experience and insight into the quarterback position. He's still relatively young. He's only started 7 games in this NFL. So we have to give him a break in terms of the run game. If the running game is going well, it makes Jalen Hurts' job 10 times easier. It's common sense. So that's why it kind of blows my mind to see Nick Sirianni playing the kind of game he's been playing. Igor Uncensored says, yo, Tone, what's good, brother? Hope all is well. God bless. Hey, man, you already know my guy. Fly Eagles fly. Wheezy says, Wheezy the Dirty Eagle, my brother, what's going on? He says, we can't give stupid penalties. He also says we need to draft offensive linemen in this draft. Our O-line is always injured because we're old on the offensive line. He also says, but Landon Dickerson's a rookie. He needs more reps for sure. Most definitely. Landon Dickerson does need more reps. And he's only going to get better. That's the bottom line. Ree says Sirianni's under more pressure. He's the engine running the ship. I agree with you on that, man. Nick Sirianni is under a lot of pressure, under a lot of it. But Miles Sanders easily is the most volatile weapon you have on offense. He's the most dynamic weapon you have on offense, easily. So if you're not giving him the ball, if you're shying away from him in the game, it's going to make Jalen Hurts' job harder. You have to run the game early, get the clock going early, get it flowing. Don't just keep running the ball, leaving more time on the clock for those guys to gut you, to gut your defense. We have to sustain drives. You know, we have to run the ball. We have to get Kenny Gainwell involved, Miles Sanders involved. I want Jordan Howard to get some reps. I don't understand what the holdup is. I don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know if he's there for injury relief or whatever, but Jordan Howard can make this offense, this running back core, that much more dynamic. Think about our running back core during the Super Bowl. We had LeGarrette Blount, who was the power back, the north-south runner. We had Jay Ajayi, who was the elusive guy. Wasn't the fastest, but super elusive. A one-cut type of back. Then we had Corey Clement, who was able to get used in the passing game. That kind of running back. Was able to line up on the line of scrimmage with the guy you want to line up in a shotgun, so on and so forth. So we had a 3-headed monster at running back. We had a power back, a one-cut back, and we had a receiving back. Literally, if we have those, we have that right now. We have Jordan Howard in the power back. We have Miles Sanders, who's a one-cut back, the elusive back, who also can catch the ball as well. Then you got Kenny Gainwell, who's the receiving back. So we have to utilize the weapons we have. We have to take advantage of our running backs. Otherwise, we're going to continue to get violated. Otherwise, Jalen Hurts is going to constantly be throwing the ball 35-plus times a game. I'm comfortable with Jalen Hurts throwing the ball between 25 to 30 times a game. 25 to 33 times a game. I'm comfortable with that. If we're running the ball, we have to get the ball. We have to get the ball rolling. We have to. Eagles Uncensored says, if we don't start running the ball, then why is Miles Sanders on his team? If you're not going to use him, let's get what we can for him and move on. We need to stop wasting the boys' talent. I agree with you 100%, Uncensored. We can't continue to waste this kid's talent. His contract year is coming up. So at some point, he's going to be looking for a payday. And he knows how good he is. We've seen how good he is, right? And we just haven't put him in positions to truly take advantage of that. Every time he touched the ball, he gone for at least 15, 20 yards every time. The first time he touched the ball against the Cowboys, he took it 23 yards. How you explain that? And then you don't go to him ever again? It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. So running the ball is important. Jinx Wolf says, facts. Weezy the Jordan Eagle says, Jordan Howard needs to be in the damn game. Like, damn, LOL. Christian says, wait, Lane Johnson injured? Yes, he is, my man. Eagles Uncensored says, no, Lane is out for personal things. Oh, okay. All right. So, see, I didn't know that. I don't know what's going on with Lane Johnson, but he's not playing in the game, so I'm going to mark him as injured. That's just my logic right now. If you're not there, you're injured. I know whatever you're going through, my brother, I hope it's not nothing drastic, nothing life-changing. I hope, things can come back for you, my brother. Family over football any day of the week. Hopefully everything's good at home with the family, man. Hopefully no bad news. But the Eagles must run the ball. Miles Sanders must be featured. Miles Sanders needs to have 20-plus runs in this game. 20-plus runs. I'm not talking about touches. 20-plus runs. And whatever you give to him in the passing game, you give to him. He needs to have 20-plus runs. It's just that simple for me. My second key to victory is the D-line must get pressure on Mahomes and force him off his spots. Now, Patrick Mahomes has been showing us this season so far that he is capable of turning the ball over. He is capable of making ill decisions. He's been doing what he normally does, the sidearm passes, the no looks, but things haven't really been going his way thus far. So we can take advantage of Patrick Mahomes' eagerness to get the ball or throw the ball in risky situations because he trusts his talent. And sometimes when you trust your talent so much, it can force you to take more risk than the average bear, right? So I feel if the D-line can force Patrick Mahomes off his spots, if we can force pressure up the middle, turn Patrick Mahomes into a runner, make him uncomfortable, force him to throw the ball in uncomfortable situations, make him go right and throw the ball off his back foot, then we can maybe catch him slipping. Maybe we can force a turnover or two because he has been turning the ball over a lot lately, especially in key situations. So it's very possible. We're missing Brandon Graham on the D-line. So we're missing that juggernaut. But we have Fletcher Cox still. We have Javon Hargrave. We have Josh Sweat. We have Milton Williams. We have Teron Jackson. We have Ryan Kerrigan. We are missing Marlon Tuipulotu, the rookie out of USC, but he hasn't really made much of an impact thus far. So we got Fletcher Cox on the line. Javon Hargrave, Josh Sweat, Derek Barnett, Milton Williams, Teron Jackson, Ryan Kerrigan. You still have talent on that D-line. I feel like Ryan Kerrigan needs to start making an impact. He hasn't had a tackle. He hasn't had a sack. He hasn't had a tackle for loss or a forced fumble. Nothing. Ryan Kerrigan's just been floating. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the packages that Jonathan Gannon is running, and we haven't really been able to take advantage of his skill set. But the bottom line is this D-line has to get pressure. Josh Sweat has to wreak havoc. Javon Hargrave is having on a tear right now. I think he has 4 sacks through 3 games. So we have to get those guys involved early. Those guys have to get pressure. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be mad if we blitz a little bit. Send the extra linebacker down the middle. Get some pressure on Patrick Mahomes. Let him know that you're not going to be comfortable in his pocket at any point in the game. Let him know that. And at that point, it's going to change their game plan. Get the pressure there early. Don't wait till the end to get pressure, and then you're playing from a 2-score deficit. Get the pressure on them early. Let them know that, hey, listen, you're going to get this pressure. You're going to feel this. Even if they score, if it's a field goal, whatever, let him know the pressure is going to come, and he's going to be forced. Just make sure he's not comfortable. Make him think an extra second. A split second means any and everything to a quarterback. If you can force him to make an extra decision, then at that point we could potentially sack this man multiple times this game. But the Kansas City Chiefs, they have 2 rookies on the offensive line, so we can take advantage of that as well. They have 2 rookies, and with the talent that we have on the defensive line, I don't see why we can't take advantage of that. My third key to the game is Jalen Hurts and the offense must sustain drives. If we don't sustain drives, then our defense is going to be gassed, and our defense will wear down, and our pass rush will wear down, and we will not be able to win this game. Patrick Mahomes is going to sling it. Tyreek Hill is going to keep burning us. Edward Hilaire is going to do his thing. We cannot allow the Kansas City Chiefs to have more plays than us. We have to dominate more. We have to dominate time of possession. We have to dominate in the running game. We have to sustain drives. And we have to put this offense, put these players in positions to actually make plays. Jalen Hurts has left a lot of food on the table these past few games. He's left a lot of food on the table. And my whole thing is, like he said, the rent is due. We don't plan on missing no payments. But my brother, it's some payments that you have missed. I don't know if you missed the water bill or the electric bill or the cable bill. The rent is paid, but you've been missing them utilities. So you need to take advantage of what the defense is giving you. Stay confident in that pocket, Jalen Hurts. I believe in you. Stay confident in that pocket. Stay there for a little while longer and deliver that ball. Now, I'm not saying turn into a pocket quarterback and don't run when you see an opportunity. If you see a lane that's going to give you 10 plus yards, take it. I ain't mad at it, but you had to deliver that ball if guys are open. It's too often Devontae Smith has been open, but you haven't been getting the ball to him. You know what I'm saying? It's too often that we've had tight ends open and we haven't been dedicating enough time to the tight ends. So Jalen Hurts has to remain confident in that pocket. Nick Sirianni has to put Jalen Hurts in positions to sustain drives, and we have to execute. That's the bottom line. And it's just that simple for me. Execution is everything. If we don't execute, then that leaves too much room for the Kansas City Chiefs to play their brand of football. We have to force the Kansas City Chiefs to play low and slow. You know what I'm saying? We have to beat them into submission. We have to pound the rock. We have to get our offensive linemen moving forward, not back, because pass protection is a little bit more complicated versus run blocking. Pass protection, these guys are going to be backpedaling. It requires much more. It requires much more. Pass protection requires much more synchronicity. It requires everyone to be on schedule. Whereas though run blocking, everyone's just going forward. Yes, everyone has assignments, but for the most part, everyone's going forward. And all you have to do is block a man and create a gap. So if we can if we can keep the game simple for the offensive linemen, that's gonna then give Jalen Hurts more time. That's going to then create gaps for the running game. And then on top of that, that's going to allow us to take advantage of the Kansas City's weak run defense. And it's going to also allow us to take advantage of their diminished DB room. So we have to play complementary football. We have to play puzzle piece football. We have to put the game together, one piece at a time. One piece is meant to help another piece. One play is meant to set up another play. We have to play football with a sense of urgency, with a sense of intention. Play our brand of football. Live by the sword, die by the sword. That's my whole thing. Jinx says, how was your Saturday, Tone? My Saturday was all right. I went to go see Venom, which was fire. Make sure you go check out Venom, man. Venom is off the chain. And if you haven't seen it yet, oh my God, the end credit scene, woo! But if you did see it, y'all know what's coming, man. Y'all know I'm not even gonna ruin it for y'all. I ain't gonna get all the spoilers, but Venom, Let There Be Carnage, fire, bro. I love the Venom franchise right now. Like I love everything about it. I think I love what they've done with Venom's character. I love Tom Hardy. So yeah. Eagles and Sisters says, hey, Tone, do you believe that McLeod is our missing piece in the secondary to give us more stability over the top, or do you think we still need more? I actually believe McLeod has been needed. I'll be honest with you. I haven't trusted Kavon Wallace at all. And I got a strong feeling Kavon Wallace he's all talk. You know what I'm saying? I'll be honest with you. Kavon Wallace hasn't lived up to all the talk he's been putting out there. I trust Rodney McLeod injured rather than having Kavon Wallace out there healthy. You know what I'm saying? So I think Rodney McLeod is the missing piece in terms of just having that veteran leadership, being able to see the field and get guys in position. So to answer your question directly, I would much rather have Rodney McLeod out there than Kavon Wallace. Rodney McLeod and Anthony Harris, they're two veterans, two crafty, two savvy veterans, and I would love to have those guys back there. So I believe he is potentially the missing piece as of right now. He is older. He is aging. He is dealing with injuries. So who knows how long he'll be with this team. I think it's time we start to look for the future. a high-quality draft pick for the safety position, but Ryan McLeod, I'm a Ryan McLeod fan. Jinx Wolf says, "Yo, it was lit. I seen it on Friday. The end credits was fire, bro. That's what I'm saying. I saw it. Yes, man. Venom was such a dope movie, dog. Like I love the first one, but I don't know which one was better, the first one or the second one. I love Venom. It was just that it was dope. It was dope. It was dope. But I want to get into my bold predictions because, like y'all already know, the game is about to start in about 45 minutes. About half an hour, 45 minutes. So my bold predictions for the game. Now y'all know how I get with the bold predictions. Sometimes I jump out the window. Sometimes I say things that hasn't happened or won't happen. I did pretty good in week 1. Week 2, I was off the mark. In week 3, I was off the mark entirely. But week 1, I did get it right in terms Devontae Smith will score his first touchdown. So I did get that right in that respect. But let's get into these bold predictions. Jinx says, all I got to say is keep a lookout for Venom 3. Bro, most definitely it's a possibility. And I don't want to spoil anything, but all I'm going to say is Venom, his storyline is going to intertwine with everything. It's be on the look, bro. The multiverse, man. The multiverse. But nonetheless, my first bold prediction, Miles Sanders will have over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Now, this is what's supposed to be happening. I hate the fact that this is a bold prediction because Miles Sanders is our most talented offensive weapon. So I don't understand how he's not doing this on a regular basis. All we got to do is feed him. He's going to get hot. He's going to get open. He's a volume runner. As a matter of fact, I can't even say that because Miles Sanders, sometimes his first carry, he can get 15, 20 on you. So he don't need a lot of touches to get going. But at the same time, because he's so talented, he should be getting a lot of touches. So my first bold prediction is Miles Sanders will have over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. My second bold prediction for the game, Mahomes will throw an interception in the first half. Now, is it really that bold? Because Patrick Mahomes has been turning the ball over a lot these past few weeks. That's a fact. As a matter of fact, Patrick Mahomes. Let's just make sure we telling the true story of the tape. Let's just make sure we're telling the true story, because Patrick Mahomes, he right now he's thrown. excuse me. He threw 2 interceptions in week 1. He didn't throw any interceptions. In week 2, he threw 1 interception. In week 3, he threw 2 interceptions. So my whole thing is the interception numbers are going up. He has 3 interceptions through 3 games. Not a good look for him. So he's liable to take risk. That's just his MO. He's liable to do so. So if the Philadelphia Eagles can be mindful, if the Philadelphia Eagles can be on their P's and Q's and actually take advantage of Patrick Mahomes' mistakes, then we can force this man to turn the ball over. We just have to play instinctive football. We can't keep playing that bend but don't break. We got to play aggressive. We got to attack the ball, and it's straight like that, man. So I believe Mahomes will throw an interception in the first half. That's my second bold prediction. My third and final bold prediction: the Eagles' offensive line will not give up more than 1 sack. Now, initially, I was going to say the Eagles' offensive line will not give up any sacks. But I had to be mindful of the fact that we only have 1 starter out there in Jason Kelce, and everyone else is backups. Granted, Andre Dillard is a first-round talent, but he hasn't really shown us that. Leonard Dickerson is a first-round level talent, drafted in the 2nd round, but has been dealing with injuries and is still getting acclimated to the speed of the NFL. Nate Herbig, quality reps last season. I trust Nate Herbig. I think he could potentially become a quality starter, if not quality rotational piece. And I'm actually optimistic about Nate Herbig. Jack Driscoll, he's coming off of an injury with a broken hand. He's been missing time, missing reps. So will he be a step slow? Will he need to reacclimate himself to game speed? Once again, Jack Driscoll was another guy who got a lot of quality reps last season. So that right side, I do trust the reps. I do trust their experience, but they're still relatively young. And one of them is coming off of injury. So we need to see just how good they can potentially be in this current situation. It's going to be very interesting. And again, these are all my bold predictions. Bold. Now, the reason they're called bold predictions is because the likelihood of them happening It's maybe not even likely, but they're called bold predictions for a reason. We're having fun with it at the end of the day. Now, my score prediction. This is something I really had to mull over, because so far the Philadelphia Eagles haven't shown us that the offense is really quality. The offense doesn't really have an identity. They haven't shown us that in the past 2 weeks. The first week we put up over 30 points, so we know what we're capable of. But when you think about the past 2 weeks, we've been inept on offense. We've lacked continuity. We've lacked an identity. We haven't been able to do anything productive until the score is already out of hand, right? So we have to keep in mind everything that we've seen. The Eagles' offensive line has been inept, but the Kansas City Chiefs, they have made a lot of mistakes these past few weeks. They have been losing. They have been losing, but they have lost to quality opponents. So I'm not going to fault them for losing against the Chargers or for losing against the Baltimore Ravens, even though Patrick Mahomes historically has beaten the Baltimore Ravens. Even though historically Patrick Mahomes has put a beating on the Chargers, right? But the Chargers got Justin Herbert, their savior now. He's a beast. He went toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and won. Same thing with Lamar Jackson. He finally got his win over Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes beat Baker Mayfield in week 1. But Patrick Mahomes has been making mistakes. He's been taking a lot more risk than normal, or he's been taking the same amount of risk, but things haven't just been panning out. But you can't get mad at them for losing to those type of opponents. But then again, you can look at it like this. You guys are the Kansas City Chiefs. You guys are the cream of the crop. You guys are the class of the AFC West. You guys are the class of the AFC and the NFL. People were looking towards the Chiefs to be a Super Bowl contender, but right now it's not looking like that. Just based off the dynamic of the division, 2 teams 3-0, one team is 2-1, and you guys are 1-2, all the way in the back. So now they're banking on those teams to make mistakes. But the Philadelphia Eagles right now ranked 3rd in their division. Right now they're 1-2. Washington Football Team 1-2, 2nd in the division. Cowboys 2-1, 1st in the division, and then the Giants 0-3, just completely non-existent on this planet. So at the end of the day, he has made mistakes. We have to acknowledge it. It's the fact. Everyone's been making mistakes. The Chiefs are 1-2. The Eagles are 1-2. But it's different. It's different levels of 1 and 2. Their 1 and 2 looks a lot better than our 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they've lost against quality opponents. I can't get mad at them losing the type of games they lost. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. So I think the Chiefs are going to turn it around at some point, but I just hope it's not this week, right? But this is the perfect game for the Chiefs to come in and really take advantage of a weak Eagles team, a team that doesn't have an identity, a team that's still trying to figure it out. It's going to be tough. That's just the fact. This is the fact. And we can't keep minimizing the interceptions. I see you, Kiefer Young. I appreciate you coming into the live stream. Hopefully you find a home here. You sound like a Chiefs fan, but that's all right. Nonetheless, those interceptions, they matter. They matter. He's been taking some risk, and that's his game. That's the Patrick Mahomes style of play. Maybe things just haven't been going his way. One of those interceptions, I believe, actually hit the wide receiver in their hands, but he didn't catch it in the bounce, and it got tipped. And I think it was the Chargers that caught the interception or whatever. I'm not entirely sure what game it was, but all those interceptions aren't on him. But he's been taking the risk. He's been doing Patrick Mahomes-like things, but they're also 1 and 2. Their division has gotten a lot better. So we have to acknowledge the flaw. Their defense has not looked so good. It hasn't. But that's not saying that we look any better. That's just acknowledging the isolated facts. So we have to be honest with ourselves. You are what your record says you are. But again, they lost to the Ravens and the Chargers. You can't get mad at those losses, man. Most of those teams are legit. It is what it is. So, y'all know me. I'm never going to say my team is going to lose. I'm always going to hope for my team to win. That's just me. That's just in me. I'm going to be honest. That's just in me. I'm never going to bet against my team, not once. I'll take the spread against my team any and every day of the week. That's just my mentality. That's just how I live. That's just how I move. Hate it or love it. But for me, if the Eagles win this game, it's going to be so close. And I say Eagles 33, Chiefs 31. And again, maybe you consider that to be a bold prediction. But I'm never going to say my team is going to lose. I'm just never going to say that. You're never going to get me to say that. I don't care who you are. You're never going to get me to say that. So I don't care if you're a Chiefs fan in the live stream. I don't care if you're a Cowboys fan in the live stream, a San Francisco 49ers fan in the live stream, or if you even a Falcons fan in the live stream. I don't care who you I don't care who you owe allegiance to. I'm never going to say my team is going to lose because I want my team to win. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I will do, my score prediction will be conducive to what I know the other team can do. For example, I know the Chiefs can drop a 30 ball on anybody's head easily, but if in order for the Eagles to win, they got to be able to do the same thing as well. So I'm always going to say my team is going to win. That's just my reality. But hey, Kiefer Young, the fact that you're here, my brother, means that I got your attention, and that means on some level you need to know the tail of the tape. You need to know what's going on. You need to know the rules of engagement. The fact that you're here, Kiefer, the fact that you're here means that you need to check the temperature of what's going on around you. So I respect the game. I respect your opinion. I respect your allegiance. As a matter of fact, Kiefer, just to make sure, who is your team? Are you a Chiefs fan? Because based off the colors in your icon, it looks like you're a Chiefs fan. But I'm just curious to see. Who you support. Who's your guy? That's what I'm curious about, Kiefer. Just so I can know who I'm dealing with. Birdman says 44-17 Chiefs. I ain't mad at that, man. I get it. Who else? Jinx Wolf says 37-36 Eagles. Hey, man, see? So, all right, Kiefer says Andy Reid going for 1-100 with KC. He says Chiefs, bro. Okay, respect it. Where you from, Kiefer? Where you from? Where you from, Kiefer? Where you from and where you live? California? Shout out to the California. Shout out to the California, man. Birdman says our O-line is a joke and can never stay healthy. Yeah, absolutely right, my brother. It is a joke. I don't know if I have to blame nutrition. I don't know if I have to blame age. It's so many variables in terms of why this offensive line can't stay healthy. Health is a reason. Age is obviously health is a reason. Age is a reason. Excuse me. I think nutrition may be a reason. I don't know. I'm guessing. I'm not there with these guys when they're eating, but it's a reason why Brandon Brooks can't stay healthy. It's a reason why Lane Johnson can't stay healthy. Well, Lane Johnson going through something right now. I don't know. Melada, his first injury ever, which is crazy. Soon as he become the starter, the official start, he get injured, man. That sucks. You know what I'm saying? So Isaac Samalu, another guy that can't stay healthy. It sucks. Sucks. Kiefer says, my godfather is Will Shields. That's how I'm a Chiefs fan in California. Oh, that's tough, man. Will Shields, okay. All-pro guard. That's fire, man. That's tough. 3-time All-Pro. I'm sorry, 3-time first-team All-Pro, 4-time second-team All-Pro, 12-time Pro Bowl. He Hall of Famer easily. Yeah. Hall of Famer, man. That's fire. That's tough. That's major. That's major, man. I'm about to get out of here soon, y'all, so I can start getting ready for this game. Birdman says the Chiefs are still mad they had their asses handed to them in the Super Bowl. Mahomes ain't no GOAT. That's funny, man. Jamal Matthews says Eagles can win. I believe that any team can win on any given Sunday except for the Jets and Giants. They are trash. We'll probably go 0-16. Hey, listen, man. I'm a firm believer in any given Sunday as well. I'm a firm believer in that. But like I told you guys, my score prediction for the game is 33-31 Eagles. My bold predictions were Miles Sanders will have over 100 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Mahomes will throw an interception in the first half. And The Eagles' offensive line will not give up more than 1 sack. And these are my bold predictions. Again, the likelihood of them happening may be slim, but they're bold predictions for a reason. Now, my keys to victory before we get out of here once again. Miles Sanders must be featured in the game plan. We have to run the ball. Otherwise, we're going to shoot ourselves in the foot every single day of the week. Number 2, the D-line must get pressure on Mahomes and force him off his spots. The more uncomfortable you make him, the more the likelihood of him making mistakes is higher. And number 3, Jalen Hurts in the offensive line, Jalen Hurts in the offense must sustain drives. If we're not sustaining drives, our defense will get gassed, our pass rush will become non-existent, and we will constantly get gutted, hit over the top. And we can't forget discipline. Discipline is so important. We have to cut the penalties out. If we keep getting hurt like this, or if we keep making boneheaded mistakes like this, Derek Barnett, then we're going to always be behind the 8 ball. We're not good enough to bounce back from significant penalties like we've been dealing with. You know what I'm saying? And Nick Sirianni has to call the game of his life today. He cannot afford to go down 1-3. He just can't. Nick Sirianni, the pressure's on. Run the football. And I'll leave it at that. I'm your humble host, Tone II. You guys are locked in on your dose of Chalk It Up. Where no matter if we win or if we lose, we just got to charge it to the game. One love. Stay humble. Stay healthy. And most importantly, stay hungry. And fly, Eagles, fly.